I'll be back.
And you will know my name is the Lord. I'm walking here. I'm walking here.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Groovy.
I mean, it's not for me, but I'm glad other people can enjoy it.
I tried it because I was very excited, but the problem is the same thing happens every time I try eggnog, which is, ooh, eggnog. Oh yeah, I don't like this.
No, it's like candy corn for Christmas.
Yeah.
No. You take that back or get off the show, Jamie.
Motherfucker, I will end this friendship.
I will
over candy
fucking
corn.
drive to Alabama and throw you in whatever you call a river down there.
They are
have
called
rivers?
creeks, Cody.
Ah.
God. It's called the community pool. So, don't worry about it.
Look,
They call Big
after
Jim's
Halloween,
tub.
there is nothing good until Christmas, and even Christmas is overwhelming. Eggnog is the only thing that makes it bearable. And for you to badmouth the bastion of November goodness, I can't stand it.
I love candy corn.
Oh, no, that's garbage.
I love it. I don't care.
I like
That's very
4
good.
candy corn. 4.
I saw
That's
candy
it.
corn like trail mix in a CVS recently. There was candy corn mixed in with like nuts and stuff. I didn't know what the hell was happening.
That's too far.
Okay, I disagree with that. That's not cool. But there is some really, really good candy corn taffy that's
What?
kind of palatable for people who don't like candy corn.
That actually
So,
sounds kind
candy
of
corn
awesome,
flavored
but I like
taffy.
taffy.
Wait, hold
so-
up. I need to
Fucking
understand
is.
this better. Is this Laffy Taffy that's flavored like candy
No.
corn, or is it just
No.
colored like it?
Oh, no. This is not Laffy Taffy. This is like the saltwater taffy you get in the wrappers.
Ah.
And it's flavored, and it tastes like candy corn, but with like hints of orange and banana, but still the candy
Ooh.
corn like flavor to it. It's just added, And it has the coloring. It's just, that's what it looks like, little marbled candy corn, but it tastes great.
This sounds fucking fabulous. I need some.
It is.
This is going to be all I'm going to be able to think about while we're trying to record. Like,
You've
yes,
ruined
yes,
us.
Adam's family. I forgot about that taffy.
Something. Adam's family. Where's the taffy? I don't know how you guys do taffy, but for me, you just have to go down to like the Wisconsin Dells or wherever tourists conglomerate, and there'll be taffy, like 8 different shops selling
Pretty
taffy.
much just go to a boardwalk. Taffy as
Yeah.
far as the eye can see.
Taffy and fudge.
And then you just eat everything else except the chocolate taffy.
Oh, no.
That sounds
why
like
there's
a
fudge flavors.
mistake.
Yeah.
No,
In a mint.
no.
We're podcasters.
Yeah.
We are professionally podcasters. Start the show, Cody.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Box Office Pulp, your one podcast stop for movies, madness, and moxie. I'm your host, Cody, and joining me tonight are my co-hosts, Mike and Jamie. Now, my notes say here that, Mike, you can best be described as ooky and kooky. Other reports have denied that and claimed you're actually more mysterious and spooky. Comments. Okay, you're going to look terrible in the press. No comment noted. Jamie, I was recently disturbed to find out that you've been masquerading as a total person for years and are in fact nothing but a disembodied hand that's been operating a complex series of levers and pulleys to trick the world into thinking you're a fully fleshed person. Comments.
Oh, I'm a miracle of goddamn modern science. Fear me.
I hope you say that every time you go into work at Walmart.
Every single time.
Get him!
And this is when it's revealed that I am in full grandpa regalia from the Munsters.
Boo! Boo! Also joining us today, folks, we have a special guest from the Spooky Gal's Corner, Jasmine. Hello. I didn't have any
Hey.
jokes against you because I didn't want you to think I was an asshole. But, I mean, you probably picked that up
First
already.
time for everything.
Oh.
It's a little too late, guys, but it's okay.
They're going to hear the intro that Mike's going to probably throw in here that's 40 minutes long, so they'll know.
It was 7.
7. I exaggerate. It's called hyperbole. We'll get with it.
Oh, comedy.
Delightful. Anyways, folks, if you haven't put it together yet, today we're here to discuss the Addams Family. I was trying to think of a good pun to go with that, hence the pause. That wasn't for dramatics. I just
I'm going to
couldn't
be
think of anything
completely
better to
honest.
say.
Even with your intro, how would anyone gather what we're here to talk about based on anything that's been said so far?
Ooky, spooky, mysterious, kooky, making fun of Jamie for being a severed hand. It's all there, Mike. It comes together naturally.
Fair enough. Here's a question.
Mr. Policeman, I gave you all the clues.
Do not give me a goddamn flashback to the snowman right now.
Too late.
God damn it.
You guys, everybody, I think, should pick a character on who they think they would most likely be from the films.
See,
I'm Morticia. I'm gonna put that out there. I call Morticia.
Going with Morticia? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
sure.
tempted to go with Wednesday, but I feel like Wednesday is too active for me. So I'm the grandmother,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Joey,
sitting in
people
my
forget the
attic, just
grandma.
whipping up weird things.
I've always been very partial to Lurch. Not that I necessarily would be a Lurch, but just the amount of pain he feels and expresses every time he gives out that classic, "Ugh." I feel
You
that.
are absolutely Lurch, Cody.
Yeah.
I can,
It's true.
it's in my bones. Feel it.
And I'm Fester.
Because you mostly fester.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just wear that one monk's robe all the time.
Have you... Okay. Has anyone in their real life ever encountered one of those monk's robes? They are not comfortable. It makes perfect sense for the character because those things are itchy as hell. They are the worst.
No one's encountered those in real life.
No.
I was at a monastery once and they had the robes just sitting in the basement and they were terrible.
What? No.
You put one on.
Cody, shut the fuck up for a second. What do you mean you were at a monastery once?
Yeah, so there's...
That's what I want to know.
this is it's not that mysterious or kooky. So for work, once a year, they pay us to just go and do volunteer things in the community. And at my previous location in central Wisconsin, there was an old monastery that was converted into like a Christian rest home for people like recovering from things. So like you could sign up and hang out at the monastery for like a week as you got clean or whatever else you had for problems. And so we would go there once a year and just, sweep up the basement, get the cobwebs out of the way, like reorganize stuff, wash the bathrooms and all that kind of junk, haul leaves, cut down trees, that kind of junk. So yeah, I got to spend a couple times in a monastery. The basement was stocked with all the old robes for the monks that they no longer had around because they weren't a monastery in practice any further. And those robes were terrible. Like they told us they were intentionally made itchy and uncomfortable just as part of the monk lifestyle. So there you go, people.
Cody,
Monk robes,
What?
just the worst.
Cody, in the basement of this monastery, was there liquid Satan?
Unfortunately, no. That'd have been way more exciting. It was all
Goddamn.
stonework. It was all stone. There were a lot of cobwebs, but the individual rooms weren't that exciting.
What if it was like a people under the stairs scenario?
Oh, that'd be way more fun.
Yeah.
No, I didn't encounter anyone with like no tongue or cannibals. I don't really have anything exciting to say other than the robes in this place are very uncomfortable. That's my main thought.
You fucking hung out at a monastery and your one takeaway is, those robes seemed awfully itchy.
They were very itchy, not awfully itchy. They were itchy to the max.
Wait, did you try one on, Cody?
Not officially.
Go
I was
on.
there to help, Mike. I was there to clean up, not
What does
try
that
on
mean?
robes. I'm not getting myself in trouble here. Let's just put it this way.
Ooh, God.
I felt the robes, and they were uncomfortable. That's all you need to know.
Anyway,
It's at this point we should mention that Cody has drinks in a boot next to him right now.
Everyone at home, I want you to think about this. I know we've lost the plot. We're not even close to the Addams family, but this is my kooky moment. Think about it. Have you ever put down your beer on a coaster and accidentally knocked it over because you've had too many beers? Or maybe you got excited you won a video game? It happens. What if that beer was in a boot? Way less likely to tip over because there's a boot. You should put some boots around your house. You won't
Well-
get rings on your table. You won't knock your beer over. It's perfect.
I'm gonna add that there are people trained out there to drink from boots.
Also
They're
that.
called boot, so technically, I don't know if it's really helping the cause. I think it's just changing the carrier.
I mean, unless you have a full-sized boot, they make them also very tiny. I think most of the boots I've seen only are like, 12 ounces or something like that. This has got to be a full-size worker's boot. Steel toe, make it hefty. I have no idea how to segue back to the Addams
We are
family,
so far away from a fetish club,
Yeah.
like drinking champagne out of a shoe right now.
What, Mike? Have you never seen Beer Fest? You just put beer in a boot and you drink it up like a proud German.
Well, you know what they say. I'm drunk, you're drunk, everybody's drunk. Apparently.
Although the
Fucking
idea of champagne out of a boot is fascinating. I might have to try that. I did just buy a bottle. Not tonight, folks. Not tonight.
So the Barry Sonnenfeld film The Addams Family from 1991.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually it's very fascinating to me because we got two Barry Addams families. And the first one, you would assume, oh, that's going to be a Halloween movie. And it's a Christmas film. The second one is set during the summer, but it has a Thanksgiving pageant, making it, in my mind, more apt to be a Thanksgiving movie. So out of two classic Addams Family films, we had neither that really landed on the holiday you'd expect. Which is kind of perfect, because that means you can just watch the Addams Family whenever the hell you want. Like Addams Family or Addams Family Values, doesn't matter. Good pretty much year round, because they never really fit.
Yes, that's interesting.
Thank you. I appreciate your enthusiasm, Mike.
I was wondering how you were going to apply your obsession with seasons to the Addams Family, and you delivered, Cody.
You're welcome.
I mean, it is perfect. Addams Family isn't... I would not call the Addams Family, as a concept, Halloween appropriate. Now, you watch it during Halloween, yes, of course.
Oh, sure.
But the magic of the Addams Family is for every other time other than Halloween. The Munsters is far more Halloween privy, in my opinion.
Just because
Did
you got
you-
a vampire
Now-
and Frankenstein?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing about those two families. So one of them, if we're really deciphering it, we're gonna go off a little page. I feel we're gonna go off, far north here in a
What?
second. But
No, this is a podcast that sticks just to the facts.
well, the fact is they're both really cool, really cool, icons in film and TV. But the two families, they were completely different. The TV shows came out around the same time. But the only difference
to
was
bump
one
into
family.
that, fascinatingly close to the same time.
One family
within a week.
Very close
It
to each
was
other then.
September. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong dates here. For the Addams Family, it was September 18th, 1964. For the Munsters, it was September 24th, 1964. And they were canceled within a month of each other. So it's fantastic. Those two shows were just locked together forever.
The Munsters pilot also predates the Addams Family, I think, getting greenlit. If you've ever seen the original pilot to the Munsters, which was in color, and
Ooh.
Yeah.
isn't good.
Well,
They
Addams
recasted
Family.
it after that. Like, people didn't like Eddie. They thought he was like a little jerk off.
Eddie was
like
awful.
He was really mean. He was. But
The whole
that's what
personality of Eddie was completely different. He was just snarling, and he was... I don't know what was the weird obsession with, like, old, like, 50s TV and making, like, every kid snot-nosed and just screaming. It's like they didn't know how children worked.
Hey, man, the people behind the Munsters TV show were also the people behind, like, Leave It to Beaver. So, basically the same character, right?
Yeah.
Sure. But here's the thing. One of the families, it's like, so you got to pick. It's like verses, okay? So it's one of the families we're trying to fit in America and being quirky and funny and cute. The other family did not care, and they stood out very proud and boldly. And their humor was a little bit more macabre. So, it's like, what I like about it is that both of those shows have that, funny, spooky, monster-esque feeling to it, like, but family friendly. At the same time, though, if you're watching it, there are some jokes and things like that thrown in that are more adult related, or it's like it's just gonna like go right over your head, honestly. But I think that judging between those two, I love them both. But
You gotta
I
pick.
don't know. Help me out here, guys. Well, what would you choose if you had to pick one, or just
Well,
gonna
see,
like?
I was gonna try and make this easier for everyone by making a series of questions that we'd all vote on and then have ranked polls just to determine the best show, the worst show. Start easy enough. What has the best theme music? Because everyone can have a hunch on that, how they feel. Either they're more of a fan of the rock song that kind of introduces the Munsters, or the classic finger-snapping song for the Addams Family. But then I got to the end and I tried to figure out, okay, the tiebreaker should be which show has the youngest family member still alive. And I realized, oh, that's just really depressing because Ken Weatherwax is actually dead from the Addams Family.
Why would that ever be a metric you would put
What
into
the
place
fuck
to
is wrong
judge
with you?
quality?
R.I.P. Ken Weatherwax, Pugsley
He died
Addams
in
for
like
life.
2004.
2014. December 7th, 2014.
Oh,
Still
He
a
was
long
59
time
years
ago.
old.
It's 2019, Cody. Get with the times.
Yeah, but Butch Patrick's still out there kicking. Eddie Munster, 66 years old?
Yeah, but what form of life is that? Being
I'm
Butch
pretty sure he's
Patrick.
not like an iron lung or anything, man.
No, But out here, Felix Silla, which he played Cousin It, he lives out here in Vegas, and I met him actually at the horror
Awesome.
convention, and he's so adorable. I mean, like he was perfect, absolutely perfect. But I think he's one of the only people that are still alive from Adam's Family,
I think the only
Yeah,
one,
right?
right?
there's not many. Probably just him, I would
Oh wait,
guess.
no, John Astin's still alive, I think.
What?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's almost 90
Yeah,
years
he's
old.
still kicking.
Yeah.
Wow! Holy shit!
He's still giving sage advice to Sean Astin.
Look, okay, I love him. He's an amazing actor. But I just figured after watching The Frighteners, he was on the way out.
Frighteners.
Right.
I have always said it wrong, and I just can't correct myself. That's
I
mentally
want to
how
make
I know
the
that movie now.
Frighteners. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it sounds so exciting.
I'm not
Does that
joking.
sound like
When
the
I
sequel
bought
to
that
The
movie
Fog?
as a DVD, I didn't know what it was. I just had a cool cover, and I misread it as The Frighteners, and it's just been that to me ever
I'll
since.
become the Frightener.
Can it be canon that the ghost pirates from the fog are the Frighteners?
Yes. This time the monsters are real.
Also, going back to the original schism you brought up for going down a weird, macabre tangent that I'm very ashamed of you for, Cody. If we're
It was
talking
appropriate.
if we're talking theme songs, I have to admit the Munsters kind of edges out. That's like a Brian Wilson song. It's
I
so
agree.
odd, especially for a TV show theme.
There were two versions. Like season 1 and season 2 had two different. I mean, they're the same theme song, but just like with different tones and beats to it. So I think season 2 had that more Beach Boys sort of vibe.
It was
that you
more
were just
upbeat.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I prefer season 1. I like the first one.
But how do you beat harpsichord and finger snapping?
I don't know.
I don't think you can.
Are we counting, though, the MC Hammer version? In there?
Oh, boy. Spoilers, I was going to ask Jamie to read the lyrics to that in a sad rendition to end the episode.
Oh, that's what I wanted too.
I'm out for
Oh, nice. High five.
Hey.
But going back to the actual movie we're talking about, this for me was one of those movies that I have no memory of watching for the first time because it came out in 1991. Like it was immediately shown to me as soon as I had eyeballs to see. So it's always been there. Is that the same for you guys? Was this one that was just there since the beginning?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know if I seen that first or I seen the show first when I was younger.
If we're backing up that far, I would definitely say the order I saw things was the Munsters TV show, the Addams Family cartoon show, the Addams Family movie, and then eventually the Addams Family TV show.
Oh yeah, I used to binge watch that.
Like for some reason, I think it was Nick at Night used to show the Munsters pretty often.
Yeah.
So in my mind, that was
And
that
TV
was
Land.
just the only monster movie
Yeah,
from the
TV
60s.
Land. I don't
yeah.
remember Night, but I mean I remember the show, but I don't remember them doing that.
For some reason I have memories of going to my grandparents and they'd be like, "It's late at night, we're tired, just watch some TV," and they would have the Munsters on. I really appreciated that show as a child, and I'm pretty sure right there's like TV Land that just had it on.
Oh yeah, I pretty much watched all of it around the same time. Like I got into the Addams Family cartoon, the movie, the Munsters, and the original show like all at the exact same time because they played the
You got
show
it.
on I think the cartoon on Cartoon Network. TV Land played both of them. Sci-Fi also picked up I think the Addams Family for a little while in the early '90s, and then
Oh yeah.
the Addams Family, and then I remember when Family Values came out, like they were pretty much on repeat. Especially when Family Values came out, the Addams Family movie became like a UPN or like Fox Night the movie's favorite.
You could not get away from that in the 90s. Like that was it's weird to think the Addams Family were a big pop culture touchstone for a little while.
They even came back in that live action show we don't really talk about in the late 90s.
Yes.
That was my jam when I was 8. I'm sure it's terrible.
Jamie, you were the one person watching the new Addams Family.
You're talking about the one with Tim Curry, right?
No. That was the I
Third
think that was a
movie.
TV movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
The new Addams Family was an
yeah.
ABC family show, I believe. Or,
Yep.
or was it Fox Kids? One of them.
Yeah. So there was it was a direct-to-video movie with Tim Curry. That was in 1998. But at the same time, they were doing the new Addams Family, which went from 98 to 99. So those two were basically the same exact time. And I've always heard that the Tim Curry movie was supposed to be kind of a backdoor pilot they didn't know what to do with, so they just made it into a movie and threw it out there.
Pretty much.
So they decided, as much as I love Tim Curry, it's kind of hard to see why they would choose him. They would choose, the original Pennywise, right, to be a loving father. Like, well, it's like, well, he's a talented actor, but
Curry's a bit of a stretch, I admit.
Yeah, like, Curry is great as Gomez on paper, but you watch the movie and it's like, this does not click correctly. Like, he's fine, but he doesn't have the right energy for Gomez. He plays like a really different, weird Gomez.
A weird Gomez?
Well, Gomez is supposed to be fun. Like, he's like, he's very Clue in that movie.
I don't know, but like my favorite, I don't know if any of you guys remember it was a TV special. It was called Halloween with the Addams Family. That came out in, I think, the 70s, like 75 or 77. Yep, 77.
Yeah.
I was right. Did any of you guys ever see that?
No,
No.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
I remember watching it. I think I found a VHS of it, like my grandparents' house when I was a kid.
I added it on my channel, so you guys can,
Ooh.
look. I have
I'd
it's
totally check that out.
He's Charlie Shad. But I think that on top of having all like the traditional Halloween movies and shows and TV episodes people watch every year, I think that should be one because it's got a really, really cool song at the end for Halloween, basically. And I don't want to give too much away, but their Halloween is basically, it's basically like their Christmas. And they celebrate it that way too. They're like they're getting ready for the spirit of Halloween to visit them, like Santa Claus, and they're carving jack-o'-lanterns and putting them under like a tree, and it's great.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
There needs to be more stuff like that for Halloween. There's just such there's no togetherness like TV specials for Halloween. It really bothers me.
I will say on Hulu last night, I watched the Animaniacs.
Night Foolery?
Night Foolery, yes. So not Animaniacs, whatever.
Tiny Toons.
Tiny Toons?
Tiny Toons, yes, thank you. They have that on Hulu now. You can just plop that on for no reason.
Oh, the perfect comfort food. I love it.
They also have Extreme Ghostbusters, so...
They do, yes. I did notice that. And we just talk about the goth chick on Extreme Ghostbusters for way too long.
That's another 40 minutes just cut right out of the show.
With the Addams Family movie.
A little bit. Yeah, the thing that kind of fascinates me about this family is we've had so many iterations of them that all have fairly short lives. I guess there's the original Charles Addams' New Yorker cartoons. Those went from 38 to 88, so that actually has a great shelf life. Those went forever. But then there's the ABC television show that ran from 64 to 66. They were in one episode of the new Scooby-Doo movies in 72. They had that animated series that ran for 2 years on NBC that no one remembers. There's the two Sonnenfeld movies in the 90s. There was another animated series from 92 to 93. There was the Tim Curry movie that we've already discussed, the new Addams Family that went for a year, and apparently a Halloween special I didn't know existed. Plus, there's the MGM CGI Addams Family that just hit theaters, and they've already greenlit a sequel to that.
Wow.
So we've had a ton of versions of this family that all pretty much just agree on the fact that they are unusual compared to their neighbors, and they're kind of macabre. But if you track the history of this family, like the original Addams New Yorkers cartoons, they were old money. And then they adjusted that as time went on. Like in the Sonnenfeld movies, they're in the suburbs-ish area, and they're still old money, but you get to see them compared to their rich neighbors, so them being rich doesn't seem so bad. They're the good rich people. And then in the new CGI version, they're not even rich. They just find an abandoned insane asylum and inhabit it. So they totally get rid of that money question entirely.
That's so odd.
They just move to New Jersey and take over an insane asylum. Lurch is there, so they make him their butler. He's not paid, I'm pretty sure. They hit him with a car and they're just like, you can carry bags.
You know what?
That sounds I don't think Lurch was ever paid.
Probably not.
No. He got a room and board. That was his pay. And
That's
you know
just
what?
indentured servitude. That's wrong.
I'm not even gonna see it anymore. I didn't see it. I thought about it, but now it's spoiled, and I don't want to do it.
That was the main plot
done.
point, actually. It's
Fucking done. But you know what? No. You know what's weird is that when that movie was in pre-production, I got a offer to work on pre-production for that for storyboarding and assisting.
Oh wow!
But here's the kicker, all right? They wanted me to work in Canada for 4 to 6 months. And I had to have my visa right then and there, and they had to go through the pre-approved application, which took 2 weeks. I didn't have my passport. I was in the middle of moving. I'm like, oh shit, do I really want to go out to Canada right now? You know, I don't have the money for that. But that was my dilemma. I'm like, oh well, you know, I'll have another opportunity. And now it came out, and I grit my teeth because I look at it, I'm like, damn it, like.
There's
shit.
always a sequel. They greenlit that right away. If you get your passport card in order.
No.
Ship
I
sailed.
mean, I have it in order now, but yeah, I'm over it. Fuck it.
Maybe they'll make
would
a
say,
CGI Monsters movie, then you'll get your chance.
Oh, I'll jump on. Oh God, yeah, I'll jump on that opportunity for
They're
sure.
due. The last time we got anything from the Monsters was Mockingbird Lane, which didn't go anywhere. So they're due for one, right?
No. No, being honest, no.
To be fair, I started rewatching the Munsters recently, and man, Herman Munster is an asshole. That guy is just terrible to his wife. Those guys, there's no love in that
Frankenstein.
relationship. There is no
It's a
love in
miracle
that
he's
relationship.
alive, Cody. Leave him alone.
Thankfully true.
It's the yes dear attitude. I think it's like that sort of hierarchy. And that's why I love Gomez and Morticia, because they are like the perfect, in my opinion, they're the perfect fucking couple. Like fuck everybody
true,
else in
yeah.
the world. Like yeah, like that shit is hashtag relationship goals, honestly. Because
Yeah.
Herman and Lily were adorable together, but they just, I don't know, they were just like this sort of like, I have more power than you in this relationship. You make dinner and stay here. But those two, they did everything together. They were passionate. It was like they could be making out in the middle of a room and they wouldn't give a shit. Like they clearly would just not give a shit, and they would start to waltz. But, you know, Herman and Lily, they had to mind their manners. You know, it's like, oh, Lily, you did it again. You know, that's where I'm coming from.
I would give anything to have literally anyone look at me the way Raul Julia looks at Angelica Houston in this movie.
In basically any edition, though, even if you go back to the old show, like we were just talking about, it was the same deal there. That was started where Morticia and Gomez really loved each other. They had a very healthy emotional relationship.
Just
Whereas
so
if you
weird for
watch
the
the
time
Munsters,
period.
right, that was the exciting thing. They were the weird family, but they were well adjusted. Whereas if you watch the Munsters, they were weird, but they acted like every other family in a sitcom at that time. Like they had all the shenanigans. There was really no chemistry or emotion or physical contact between the leads. They just happened to be Leave It to Beaver with monsters.
No.
Exactly.
Except Grandpa. Grandpa was delightful.
Grandpa just hated Herman so much, so I can appreciate that.
Wasn't it implied Grandpa built Herman?
It's confusing because it seems like he made Herman, but like Lily's his daughter, so he made his daughter a husband.
A fuck toy,
that he
essentially.
hates.
It's really weird when you stop and think about it.
He made a fuck doll for his daughter, and he resents it living in his house. It's none of it makes sense. It's all terrible.
Listen, okay, Al Lewis, who plays Grandpa, and he's great. I think he became friends with Howard Stern. Like he ran for mayor, I think, and like Howard Stern like promoted him and did a
That's
whole
so
thing.
Grandpa.
Yeah, exactly. So he was the badass of that show. I loved him, and I'd never had grandparents, but I thought, you know what? If I did, I would want that. Like I really would. I would want something like that.
I mean, not to attack the cast in any way. Fred Gwynn is fantastic. I really love everything he's in.
Yeah.
Utes. It's just his character is a monster, like literally and figuratively.
Yes, Cody. Frankenstein is a monster. His
The
name
worst.
is Frankenstein's monster.
I hate him. I hate him so much.
See, I want to live in the world where Mama Addams and Grandpa Munster just became a power couple after the events of the show.
God.
Just
Like
took
their
over the fucking world.
There were a couple
Perhaps.
directed like TV sequels for the Munsters. I haven't had time to watch.
Yeah,
but
there were.
they do exist.
Yep, I've seen them all.
They're all on the DVD set if people have that. So not too hard.
Oh,
to
they
find.
made those for a really long fucking time, too. Into the 90s.
I think
But-
that was how big of a pop culture event the Addams Family movie was, that even stuff adjacent to the Addams Family got rebooted. I didn't really think about this until rewatching this for the episode, but like this movie was such a big deal. The Beverly Hillbillies movie is just a remake of the Addams Family movie.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That was the
Yeah,
thing.
but
There
the
was
they
same
had
plot.
a like 24-foot long sub.
I don't know. I would compare that more to like Adam's family values because they're moving, like, Gomez is like getting married and shit, and they're moving into a different house. It's kind of in the same realm, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, that's the truth. It's a little bit
Kinda.
There
valued.
was in the 90s there were tropes the old 50s and 60s sitcom movies would latch onto, but they all stemmed from whatever the Addams Family movies were doing. It's like those were successful, let's just copy those. So it looks like the Addams Family is, when you look at the plot, like fake Fester and all that shit, you look at it in the time of the 90s, and it appears as just yet another one of those, like, what were the 90s weird obsession with, like, putting them in these weird ass plots where one of them is not quite who they are, or they're moving, or something else like that. But the Addams Family was just the first one who did it, so it's the only one who actually did it correctly.
Oh, okay. So, out of the blue, guys, here's a little pop quiz question for you. What show was responsible for canceling them both?
Batman.
Yep, you got it.
Wow, I
Thanks,
didn't know
Google.
that.
Batman came out and just murdered everything else in the ratings. They're like, we don't need these.
Where's the crossover? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, Batman
the
fucking
Scooby-Doo
beating the
movie.
shit out of Herman.
Look, Batman
He was too
and-
large to live.
Batman had, it wasn't a crossover, but he was on Scooby-Doo, the new animated movies, and so was the Addams Family. They're one step away from each other.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, so the new Scooby-Doo movies, there's 2 seasons, I think, like 24 episodes total, where they had one with Batman, maybe 2, I can't remember,
They had 2
and
with
one with
Batman.
the Addams Family. But the rights for the Addams Family were such a hassle, they haven't put that back on DVD. So if you buy the Scooby-Doo movies on Blu-ray, which they just put back out, you get 23 out of like 24 episodes because they couldn't clear the rights to the Addams Family episode. You can still find it online, but it's no longer released on DVDs or Blu-rays.
The best part of the Addams Family Scooby-Doo episode is how fucking terrified Shaggy and Scooby are of the Addams Family the entire time.
Good.
They're such fucking stoners. Like, they're gonna be afraid of everything.
Zoinks, dude,
Let's
that
be
lady's
honest.
really
Let's
horny.
be honest.
I'm so confused because in a pup named Scooby-Doo, they fight a monster that's just a living cheeseburger, and you think that would be the one monster that would not scare them. So
That's
it's like the
their
series doesn't make any
nightmare
sense at all.
of the cheeseburger coming back for revenge.
That you got to eat him before he eats you.
Oh God.
So going back to the Addams Family for a second.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So was it ever like ruined for you when you realized Cousin It was played by Isaac?
I always forget that, like, every couple of years, and then I read that, and I have the flashback to all the other times I remember that, and it's always the same emotion. Like, no, something as pure as Cousin It cannot also be Isaac, the ultimate evil.
It disgusts you, right? It's like he's incognito in your home. Can we do a edit of Addams Family where instead of Cousin It doing his squeaks, he's going gone, 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 gone.
See, I always want to believe that it's Deep Roy because he's pure of heart like Cousin It.
Doesn't it's too tall for Deep Roy?
If you guys are thrown off by Isaac being Cousin It, in the new CGI movie, it's Snoop Dogg.
Well, that just makes sense.
Like, he still talks like it,
is
but
his
it
fault.
sounds like Snoop Dogg actually has the dialogue, and they just speed it up and make it sound like gobbledygook nonsense. It's what a weird choice for stunt casting. Like, that has to be so expensive to just get a random celebrity
very
to play a character
expensive.
with no actual lines of dialogue. For a joke children won't understand. Children don't know Snoop Dogg, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Huh.
Children know
Snoop Dogg
Snoop
is
Dogg.
beloved. He's like Santa Claus.
True, he's like
Yeah.
Barney.
Is it from all the Martha Stewart shows? Is that what kids are watching these days?
Martha and Snoop's potluck. Yeah, I think so.
All rappers in old age become children's characters. We all know this.
I'm not arguing. I'm just sure.
God.
Why not?
If Tupac were still around, he'd be the new Ernest.
Oh my
Oh.
god, I would love to see that.
Oh,
Yeah, I would watch that in theaters. He fights trolls. He goes to a prison camp. He goes to a normal camp. He just does the fun stuff all the time. Falls off roofs.
Ernest finds salvation. Ernest fucking Ernest kills the monsters. Like, yeah, I can see that happening. That's terrible.
Ernest releases a disturbing posthumous album.
Would Vern be Biggie?
Ernest discovers racial disparity in the United States of America and is disgusted.
I'm pretty sure that was probably an unmade Ernest movie, actually.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what else came out in the 90s, like the Ernest movies?
Nope.
Lots.
Yeah, lots of movies. It was a hell of a time in the 90s.
Returning to the film.
I'm not going to
always-
let you talk about the films. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
It always amazes me that Barry Sonnenfeld has the weird ass career that he does because he started so strong. I believe this is his first film.
Well, he's a DP.
Yeah, after stepping up from a DP, I think this is his directorial debut. And it's a faux Tim Burton movie that's not only fits like quality wise, but it's kind of better than a lot of what Burton was doing in the early 90s, even though that was pretty much his peak. Like,
Ooh.
it's weird. Addams Family is kind of perfect,
Are you
at
trying
least
to
from a
pit
directorial
Edward
standpoint.
Scissorhands against
How
the
the
Addams
fuck?
Family?
We can't do that, you guys. Don't do that to me. I love Tim Burton. We're not even gonna go there. We're not even gonna go there. Mm-mm.
Oh, I adore
Gloves
the
are off.
90s Tim Burton. There's something so complete about this film, both with direction from a directorial standpoint and a screenplay. Like this, it's weirdly a very, very prestige family comedy. And
Oh,
with
yeah.
a cast where every single person is amazing.
Well, you have a movie that's written for Burton, by a Burton regular. But, Burton's style, especially in that time, would have been great for Addams Family, don't get me wrong. And he would have made a killer fucking Addams Family. But Burton, the difference between, it's Sonnenfeld channeling kind of the Burton aesthetic to a degree with a lot of Sonnenfeld quirks. Because that's the thing, Sonnenfeld has quirkiness, while Burton's style at the time kind of had this stitched up quality, where things weren't pristine in how they were done. And that was some of the greatness of Burton's style back then. So you have this very odd marriage of tones I think are absolutely perfect for the Addams Family beyond what I think Burton would have actually brought if he had directed it.
I mean, he was attached to the Addams Family animated movie before dropping out of that and eventually having it end up the way it did.
Yeah.
What could have been.
Imagine if he would have made an original salad fingers. You remember that stupid fucking salad fingers?
Oh my god, I love salad
Mhm.
fingers. I
Yeah.
would love to see that so badly.
Nettles.
Oh.
But one big difference I would say between the two directors and what I absolutely love in the original Addams Family movie, Barry Sonnenfeld is not afraid to kind of break the fourth wall and destroy the reality of his movie for a joke.
Yeah.
I'm thinking specifically of the part where Gomez is playing with his trains, and we cut to one of the trains with a little tiny living person inside the train. Which
The
is
implications of that.
they're staggering.
He's going all mental and he loves it. that-
Apparently, he had to fight for that joke because the studio's like, people are going to be confused. And he's like, no, it's funny. It's staying in. And it's a great addition. It's one of the most memorable jokes there. But you could see why people might get confused because all of a sudden the rules are a little different. You can either see it, like you said, as a mental break for Gomez,
Yeah.
or there's an actual tiny group of people living inside the trains that he so willingly destroys.
He's playing God, basically.
As
Either
Raul
way,
Julia
for sure
also
he is.
always did.
I'm glad you brought him up. No, I'm serious. I'm glad you brought him up because I was gonna say favorite quotes that he's done in that movie by far to me was when him and Dr. Pinterslosh were talking to each other and she was bringing up mommy issues and he legitimately just turns to her, he goes, but I didn't hate my mother, it was an accident. And you're what did you do?
And Julia is so sincere. It's
Yes.
that Shakespearean sincerity
Oh, he
that
means it all.
sells all of his kookier performances, but this in particular. Raul Julia is not in a comedy. Raul Julia is playing the great Gomez Addams, the most spectacular figure in all of history.
He's
He sword
He's
fights the
romantic.
sun.
I would love to date a Gomez. Somebody mentioned about you would love to see a woman look at you the way that she
Just anyone of any gender or species can whatever can give
Jamie,
me.
that's why people
I'll be
buy
amazed.
dogs.
Go on.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I just want to fuck Raul Julia
That's a different kind of love.
as
But Mike,
Bison,
he's
though.
dead. Oh, okay.
Or Zorro. That would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire cast of the Sonnenfeld movie, just amazing. The people they pulled together for that. Like Christina Ricci is a child actor making that big of an impression. Fantastic.
Just earning an entire career from this performance.
Right? And Christopher Lloyd, he's amazing to watch too, because I mean, even with the help of a fat suit, just the way he hunches himself up to really give this weird physical performance, and just like the eyebrow acting he's doing in that movie, even though I don't think he has eyebrows. I think they painted over this. Lloyd's a secret weapon. He holds this movie together. Like,
His
he bridges
silent
the whole-
movie acting is incredible.
Imagine if he was allowed to cuss in that movie. In any of them.
I still love the story that everyone on the cast was very concerned about. It was supposed to be, I guess, originally left ambiguous whether or not Fester was actually Fester. And everyone on the cast was very concerned, except Christopher Lloyd, who just did not care.
That's
Well,
very
he's right.
Christopher Lloyd.
I mean, the Addams Family, as presented, would be like, he's close enough. We'll still love him. That's kind of the impression you get from those people.
Also, another part of that story I love is the cast then nominated Christina Ricci to give a passionate plea to the producers to make it so Fester was actually Fester at the end, which is why that whole like roundabout exposition comes out of nowhere in the final scene. They chose a little girl to do it. I just kind of love that.
I just like the idea of Julia like nudging her along, like, "Go ahead, Christina, say your piece." Like for that to have been recorded, good lord, I want to be a fly on the wall there.
I wonder if if somebody in the future, maybe I don't know, maybe I will make like a serious horror version of it, like a short, you know? Like, what if the Addams Family wasn't like fun and family friendly? Like, I think they did that. There was like somebody did that with the Frozen trailer, like some years back.
Just
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's a horror film.
Yeah, like what if it was a horror film? Like, how would it be edited?
I've seen
Yeah.
a bunch of those. It's like a fun little remix community on YouTube that does that stuff. My favorite is someone recut Seinfeld to make it seem like it was just The Shining.
That one is fucking spectacular, yeah.
To me, that would make Seinfeld more, I don't know, watchable.
Oof. Ouch. Well, goodbye, everyone.
Hot takes up in here.
Boom, explosion.
Hold on. Before we move too far away from the cast, though, I do want to mention Angelica Houston, because she is often overlooked in her role, but she is essentially, in my mind, playing the straight man in this. Like, she has the more constrained personality, but still sells everything with the same amount of sincerity that you get from Gomez. And it really ties all this together so nicely.
Yeah, it does. They couldn't have picked a better cast. I mean,
No,
I don't
think they could have. Everyone just does their role fantastically. They all make the characters seem so memorable. I mean, think of all the different family movies out there. How often it's like, oh, and this is the little girl character. We'll forget about her. Or this is the little boy character. We don't remember his name. He has 5 characteristics. But everyone remembers Pugsley. Even if we can't remember the actor's name, unfortunately, I feel like a bad person for that. You'll remember Pugsley in this movie.
Pugsley has like 4 lines, and he's very memorable. It's so odd.
Hey, that's Pugsley's thing, is to just kind of be there.
He
Well-
he gets an A-plot in the animated new movie. It's
That's
not
good.
a great A-plot, but he is in the forefront. They actually give him
I
something to do.
think Pugsley deserves a little something after, like, what, 60 years? I don't know.
He has
Yeah.
that game for the
It's
Super
about time.
Nintendo.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
well. Speaking of Pugsley, actually a little something reminds me that there was a porno made about that. Of I'm not joking. Of the siblings, like they did it, and
I buy it.
Go on.
Many
Like,
fetishes for me.
I'm not joking. Well, they made it Edward Scissorhands too. It's called Edward Penis.
Edward Penis Hands, fucking
Yeah,
spectacular.
yes.
I
So,
love Edward
Spent
Penis
so much
Hands.
time laughing about that.
So it makes sense, right? And they're both pretty cool.
Edward
I don't know.
Penis Hands is so sad.
What? Mike,
He can't
for who,
live,
man?
Mike.
For who?
If your hands were penises, how bad would you be? You'd be like that executioner from 300. You have one purpose in life, and that's it. You can't make sandwiches on your own. You can't open doors. It's horrible.
I don't like this joke anymore.
Good. You should feel ashamed of yourself.
I'm okay.
Go-
I'm
Go
okay
ahead.
with it, guys.
Going back to the Uncle Fester plot, I think it's that plot line, as strange as it seems at first for an Addams Family movie, an introductory Addams Family movie at that. I feel like the genius of that plot is what elevates this movie up from just being like a really funny, well-directed family comedy with a great cast to being something that's actually kind of substantial. Like, I love the idea of this murderous psychopath, like essentially a hitman, going into this noir plot line where he's going to impersonate a long lost brother and steal these people's fortune, and realizes both that they're infinitely more psychotic and violent than he is, and he kind of likes that. Like, these freaks, even without the twist of him actually being Uncle Fester, there's something beautiful about a scumbag finding even weirder scumbags and being like, oh, my people.
It's very freak positive. It gives us all hope.
Like, Uncle Fester teaching Wednesday and Pugsley how to be evil is it's genuinely moving to me.
No, I was gonna go like totally left field here. I was gonna say nobody answered my question what their favorite fucking quote was.
Ah.
Mamushka.
Dirty pool.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
My
Oh boy.
my absolute favorite is, I would kill for her. I would die for her. Either way, what bliss.
Yes,
Once
That is-
again,
Jamie wins.
relationship goals.
that is sexy. Exactly, that's sexy. That is. You know what? I think we're both gonna get dates after this. I'm pretty sure. Watch your fucking Tinder account. I swear, weird shit's gonna happen.
Just loaded up with Gomez cosplayers.
Ho, ho,
Exactly.
ho.
Oh my god, please do. I hope that happens. I'm gonna. You know what? Yep. That's. Yep.
Tiny
that's what I'm gonna do.
mustaches as far as the eye can see.
One
What do you
thing,
got?
though, that has always made me mad about the new Addams Family, it's animated, so we don't get Oscar Isaac walking around in Gomez cosplay. That's a complete missed
Yeah,
opportunity.
that is a missed opportunity. Could you just, honestly?
But
If they
then
just took that cast and dressed them up for like some promotional shots, that movie
did.
would have made 3 times more money. What?
Yeah, there are shots of him in a Gomez outfit online, from what I remember.
Were they fan made?
I don't
Was
know.
this like when we just CGI
Did
like
they?
Two-Face faces on
No.
top of like actors for The Dark Knight?
No, God, no. But just in case, I'm going to check that out. But I don't believe so. No.
I think Cody and
But I
I
remember
just
when-
revealed that we're both gay for Oscar Isaac, specifically as Gomez Addams.
Yeah. I think every person has their tipping point, and that would be it.
See, if they ever do another live action film, my ideal plot line is Oscar Isaac and Diego Luna as Gomez's from alternate timelines.
Into the Gomez verse?
Exactly. They have
Do
a sword
it,
fight,
do
Gomez
it.
versus Gomez.
Oh, it's like the one.
That would be cool.
I mean, they've got it baked in. There's a whole network of Adamses around the world. I mean, they all show up at the end of the movie for the party. It's possible there's another Gomez-like in that family tree, that they have to compete for the title of Best Adams.
That is one of my favorite aspects of this movie, is how they go all the way with filling that party scene with as many weird relatives as possible. You can tell the production department was just having a blast coming up with as many weird ass circus freak relatives as they could give the Addams.
Well, you watch that, and then you watch Men in Black, and you're like, oh yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, there's a straight line there. We've talked a lot in the past about how 90s movies were fucking spectacular at from set design or extras or costuming of creating a fucking world and then just walking around in it.
Mhm.
Damn, Addams Family does that. That was a universe of Addamses.
I think in the 90s they were getting more experimental, like with CGI and digital editing. Was the really good staple of what 90s really came about doing that. So I agree. It was well done. Like Adam's Family, like the set was beautiful. That house, that fucking house, like yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
That house.
And that
That-
house was built on the same set as the original house, wasn't it? I believe.
I'll
Yeah, I
trust
think
you for that,
so.
sure.
I know
Pretend
things.
that's a fact.
And
My
God,
personal favorite, though, is still just Thing basically being an Evil Dead 2 scene for the entire movie. It's still the
That
early
holds
90s,
up.
so they haven't had that much time to change the effect. It's like,
Slow
just put
down,
some
man. I hate
holes
it when
in
you
the
stutter.
set.
it's that magic sweet spot of 90s effects where it's super obviously an effect, but in a charming way that doesn't break the reality of the movie. Like, it weirdly holds up.
That's how I feel about every Harryhausen effect. Like, you can tell, oh, that's just stop motion, but it works so well in that universe.
I mean, does anybody realize how hard it is though to be a hand actor when it comes to that? Because
I saw
really
a really fantastic video about that guy. I think it was like a vintage featurette talking about his career as like a fancy hand actor. And yeah, not easy, but really sells it. Doesn't even get a line of dialogue.
Do you think he got laid off of being Thing?
I don't think so.
Probably a hand job.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
I
thank
set him
you.
up,
My
you
work
knock
is
him
done.
down.
Jesus.
And then the nooses tighten and we swing.
Our
The
childhood.
team, Hachi-chachi.
Mike, do you know the other movies that dude has been a dismembered hand in?
No.
He
Just tell me
was
it's idle hands.
the hand in Idle Hands,
Fuck
Yes.
yes.
and he played the evil hand in the Quicksilver Highway adaptation of The Body Politic, the fucking Clive Barker story.
You're shitting me.
Wow. That guy had a niche.
He's hand royalty at this point. Let's give it up for Christopher Hart's
Give him
hand.
a hand.
Or a
Give him
leg or
hand.
two. See, that's just gonna remind me of like when you said that. It's just gonna put me back in the scene of Scary Movie 2, where the butler, he's like,
Yes.
"Give me your hand."
Strong hand.
No, and then he's fighting with the dude in the wheelchair, and he goes, and he's clapping with. He goes, how about hey, let me give you a hand, and he's clapping with both of his hands. He goes, oh, here, let me get that. Let me give you a leg or two, and they're just going at it. But it reminds me of that.
Standing
They're just
ovation.
standing ovation. Yeah. It's so-
It is sad how often I think about Chris Elliott in Scary Movie 2.
Scary Movie 2 is really a surprisingly funny movie, considering the other Scary Movies never really reached the same peaks. I don't understand why 2 is just... it
It's
has so
weird
many
how
good
2 is more memorable than 1, right?
Yes.
Despite 2 being the one they slapped together at the last minute, it's weird.
I don't know. I
They
like
came
the
up with
first
it in
one.
like a week. It's weird.
I like the first one, but it hems so close to Scream that it's I think
That's
a little
the
too on the
point.
nose. I know, but like considering the formula they varied up in the other movies, I think it works a little more when they're trying to just do a cornucopia of jokes instead of focusing on one property.
And God knows
Yeah,
the remake of The Haunting was asking for it.
That's exactly what I was
Had
gonna
it
say.
too good for too long.
That
that's
Haunting
fucking
remake
cool.
exists to be made fun of by other movies.
I thought that they were doing the House on Haunted Hill, right?
I think it was all of them at the same time.
It was kind of all of
Every
them, yeah.
movie.
I think
Haunted
13
House
Ghosts hadn't
exists.
come out yet, or else that would be in there. Not that 13 Ghosts deserves to be made fun of, because 13 Ghosts is the greatest movie ever made. But
That's
Still.
a fun one. That one we don't make fun of 13 Ghosts.
yeah,
No.
the Jackal.
No, do you realize that no, those ghosts were based off of real people? The jackal was a real person, actually.
Yeah, my
Like-
ex-girlfriend. Oh.
No,
Oh.
no, there goes.
Oh, she didn't let you see the
Never
Wolf
mind.
movie.
Never mind.
To go back there 6 years later.
That was an amazingly deep cut. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. That one
That
was
was
for
a
you,
deep
buddy.
cut. On
All the
Cody's
people
life.
that stood by us when we talked about the Gray, full circle.
That was for old Bop fans right there.
Not to move away from that amazing note, it is so weird to think 13 Ghosts is probably the best 90s haunted house movie.
I think it's 2001.
Was 2001? Oh.
Yeah,
I think so.
know,
It was
yeah,
the last
I seen it in
of
theater.
let's remake the old William Castle movies.
2001.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah. I remember because I seen it in theaters, and then no, I swear to God, I mentioned this before. I seen it in theaters, and then we got it on VHS back when people were still watching that. And we had like those combination DVD VHS players,
Mhm.
so we just had like a mix and match. It didn't matter. But I remember watching it a few times at home, and then not being able to go down the hallway to use the bathroom as a kid because in my mind I'm seeing the fucking jackal, and I keep having like I'm just like it's like when you feel like the hands kind of grip in the back of your neck, you're like,
You
ah,
just
it's not
needed more plexiglass to help
like, fuck,
protect you from the ghosts.
that's not, fuck,
That
no,
giant baby.
no, it's just, fuck. That was
Yeah.
stupid. That was just stupid.
The jackal fucking haunted my childhood. Like, in my head, he was always after me, like the monster from It Follows.
I like how this is what, 2 episodes in a row now, where we've just spent a lot of time talking about 13 Ghosts. Eventually, we're just going to do an episode on that. We have to.
13 Ghosts is a commentary
Exactly.
or something waiting to happen. I swear to God.
Really, it should be.
I just want to talk about the fucking opening scene in the junkyard. The greatest scene ever put on film.
Okay, Mike, we'll indulge you.
No, because, well, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
No, well, we'll save it. We'll save it.
I was just going to add, I never loved Shaggy more in my life than in that movie. Like, he really proved himself.
He came around in the end.
Yeah. Well, he died in the end, but he did the right thing. He was a psychic.
Redemption stew.
Yes.
Heroic stew.
Look, we're getting a Scream 5. We could still have that.
No.
Stew
We can
from
hold
the
out
grave.
hope. We can hold out hope. Let's not talk about things let's just know.
Guys,
Okay,
we're going
that's
off
fair.
the reservation again. You know?
Yeah,
So,
just-
Percent of this
solid
episode
5
we've
minutes of
actually. Can
Addams
I even
Family
put Adam's
conversation.
Family in the title of this episode at this point?
I'm so glad I'm not editing this. My God.
I hate
That's
myself.
my favorite activity, is just making life miserable for Mike.
Okay, well, I'll get back on track. All right, how about what if, now this is just another, like, what if scenario, but going back to an adult-themed Addams Family and not so much family-friendly,
Just back to the punching
Hand-
thing.
Go on.
no, this is about hand, this is about thing, sorry, the hand. Yeah, well, but what if he was in a porno, too? Just like the
It
siblings.
writes
you know?
itself.
How-
There
exactly.
has to be some terrifying fetish porn of thing. There
And there's
just
so
has
many things you could do. You could do an entire just fisting scene with just thing.
so many things you could do. Is that the title of it, Mike?
Yeah, actually, that does kind of work.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know, we technically got back on topic, but I think it's worse now.
Well, we did bring
Uh,
fisting into it, and by we, I mean me. I don't mean to put that on you guys.
Oh, we're all guilty by association. That's cool. Ugh, Jesus Christ. No, yeah.
Addams Family, good movie, great movie,
I'm sorry,
great
I
film,
feel like
excellent.
just someone exasperatingly like being on the show and being like, Jesus Christ, is how the episode should end.
it's,
No.
it's really everything we've built to.
No.
Let's break
No,
a
no,
guest.
No. No, guys, I could say worse, but I'm, being that I want to bring the children around, so I'm just change the topic right there.
Children shouldn't listen to our show.
They
It was
How else
started
are they
on
gonna
robot cum
learn?
jokes.
They probably will though.
I hope so.
kids-
That's how they're going to learn about film, is listening to Box Office Pulp.
All
Right.
right. If we want to talk about children in like a slightly more wholesome way, my niece is 9 and she recently discovered the Addams Family and it's her favorite thing. Like she
Good.
recently got
One
the
of
old
us.
movies.
One
Good.
of
One
us.
of us. Yes.
Did you do the same thing that I did with my nephew? Like I turned him on to all this really cool stuff when he was a toddler. He's gonna be 4, and he loves Tim Burton. He loves Addams Family, like the turkey scene where Pugsley's like singing the song on stage. He'll dance to that like, every time it's on. I'm like, yes, do it, Talon. He does it. He
Dance,
loves
dance.
dance, monkey. Yeah, so he does. He loves that. He loves all this creepy, macabre, cool shit that we're talking about, and it's because of me. Did you do that to yours, or was this like family?
I like live in a different state from my family, so I only come back maybe once a month. But I have a lot of my shit in my basement, my parents' basement. So my niece would like go down there to play, and there'd just be all my old DVDs sitting around or like old toys. And so she would just play with like Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, and that's how she got into that. I think it was. So I can't directly take credit, but I left a legacy behind.
I'm not allowed.
Somehow my nephew though, he's a little older, and he never got into that stuff. Like he doesn't like scary movies. The scariest he got into was like Predator. That was his thing. He thought was really cool. But anything more extreme than that, he's like, nope, checking out. My niece is like, again, she's 9 and she's seen the Meg, and she's like, it could be scarier, but that was fun.
That fucking let me down so hard. If it wasn't
I
for
had fun
Jason
with it.
Statham, I wouldn't, no, just no. I thought I would rather watch Deep Blue Sea 7,000 times than watch that movie again.
I legitimately
we
love
all?
Deep Blue Sea, so I have no
I will
problem
watch Deep Blue
watching
Sea
that.
right now.
No, Deep Blue
Hell yeah.
Sea, no, it's 2.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
God. Jesus.
All right, that's how much I was disappointed. So, yeah.
Ugh.
Cody, sing the song.
Mike, I'm not going to tell you about my hat being like a shark's fin, all right? You can...
You said it. That's good enough.
Deeper, darker, bluer.
Okay, before it gets away from us too much and we have to shut this thing down for good, we cannot get all the way through an episode about the goddamn Addams family without discussing the mamushka, one of the most hypnotic things ever put on a cinema.
What? And
I want to
fascinating
see the
for
cut
is,
that
as
goes
far
on
as I
forever.
know, it's not part of like the original TV show in any way. That was something
Nope.
they just invented for the movie.
Well,
What a
Gomez
weird
and
fun
Fester
addition. It's
are
not even,
only
like, part of the
brothers in
cartoons
the
or the
movie.
comics.
Yeah, but they brought that into the movie, but the one thing that they kept was their they tango, right? Well, no, they waltz.
Yeah.
So they kept that at least from the TV show.
But that scene, there's so much life to it. It's such a stand-up piece. And it's a complete invention, really, just for the movie, which is a lovely detail. And it's stuck with it. That's a major plot point. They're training Pugsley for his Mamushka in the CGI film. So they just kind of plagiarized that into the new one.
I love
You're
how
not
it
making
lives.
this any better for me not wanting
It's
to
fine.
hear. I
It's
don't-
fine. I honestly went in thinking this is probably going to be bad, and I thought
Ugh.
it's fine. So it was better than my expectations, but I would not tell people this is a fantastic movie.
Going
If you're
back to
jonesing
No.
for some Addams, there you go.
Jonesing for some Addams. Going back to
Thank you.
Mamushka.
I thought that was clever.
Did you ever listen to the full version from the soundtrack?
No, I haven't.
It's a long song.
How
From
long does
which-
that go on?
If I remember, the full version was originally in the movie. Test audiences hated it because it was really involved. Like they went into like listen to it. It's on the soundtrack, the full version. They go into naming famous brothers throughout history, and like it's weird.
Oh, I remember
It goes
that.
on so long, and it's like I could see how this just like why did the movie become like
Who
a
did-
musical with like a 3-minute song in the middle for no reason?
No, well, who did there was a song in the Addams Family that was like a hip hop cover, and like you
Oh,
heard
MC
it
Hammer.
when they were. So he did that one, like they're selling the lemonade and shit, and the car drives by, and it's like Addams Family. Yeah.
Yep.
Who did they get? They got someone different for Values, though. Who did the end song of Values? Did the internet?
I'm gonna say
Yep.
Partners in Crime because they're always confused for MC Hammer and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh gee. Family Affair? No, from
I just
Addams
don't recognize the
Family,
name.
right?
Sounds familiar.
There is an
no, it's
unused.
Womp. That's who sings it. Womp or Womp, however you pronounce it. Womp. WHOOMP exclamation point.
There it is.
That's not a word.
Whoop. There it is. Yeah. It sure is.
I know there is an unreleased music video. I'm pretty sure you can find that on YouTube of the song Michael Jackson recorded for Values,
What?
which is
No.
Ghosts, the terrible. I believe it's the. It was part of the terrible Halloween special Michael Jackson did in like 2000 or whenever. He just reused that unreleased song for it, and yeah, it's weird. It's just the same song, but it mentions the Addams Family. It's not good. I can see.
Are you
I
talking
can
about
see
from?
why it's not in there.
I think that was '96, right? When they released that. Are you talking about the music video like he did called Ghost?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was '90s.
was that 90s? Wow.
Yeah, no, the song was included in his 1997 album Blood on the Dance Floor. Video project was finished independently as the short film Ghosts. Recorded a
I haven't
horror
seen
theme
that
song
yet,
for the
though.
film and promoted it with a video in an attempt to cope with the negative publicity from accusation of child molestation. Jackson turned to prescription drugs and had to undergo lengthy rehabilitation. He was unable to finish the video, and his song "Is It Scary" was dropped from the film.
That's the
Can you imagine though if he was brought up as like Gomez, and how soft spoken and off that would be?
name.
I feel like that is a music video waiting to happen, though.
I wish
The
it
90s
was.
would not have been complete without it. Just people dressing up specifically as Gomez Addams for music videos.
Did anybody see any Gomez or Morticia costumes this year? I think
Oh,
the
Facebook
last
feed.
right.
Really? I
Well,
didn't see any. I was very disappointed.
I wanted to be Morticia for Halloween this year, and I ran out of time. Instead, because I went to go see the Manson concert, and then I realized they're all over the place.
They were all the Addams Family.
They were exactly yes,
The
yes.
Addams Family really was the friends we made along the way.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And anybody have anything else they need to bring up?
Everybody should go check out the Addams Family porn. Tell me what they think.
And
know?
where should they tell you that? Where's the best place to get their porn-based opinions?
Like in private, should they tell you, or like in public, just for
Just
safety?
flag you down the street. Hey, hold on.
I don't think I ever meet people, but yeah. So I think that then they should just go to my Twitter, Spooky Gals Corner. They could do it, private message me on Instagram. That's open. They could do it to my direct email, which is creepygalscorner@gmail.com. They could do it on my Facebook, Creepy Gals Corner. They could do it all kinds of ways. They can even send videos through YouTube if they want. I think that kind of be funny. I think that'd be funny to watch.
Hey, whatever makes you happy.
I would like to see that, actually.
Send Spooky Gals Corner your Addams Family porno response videos.
I'm
Or
sure
live
none of those
reaction.
will actually be approved for YouTube uploading. Like, they'll just immediately chuck them out.
Please live stream yourself watching the Addams Family porno.
Yeah,
No.
please.
I
Give your
don't care.
reaction.
It's not coming to me.
Maybe they could do like a half and half, like they give like half of the reaction watching that and then compare it to the Edward Penis Hands and say which one they like best. It's
Okay.
like way off field, but whatever.
I'm about to do something horrible.
Oh, God.
What else is new?
we all have to have our hobbies, Jamie. I might go down this rabbit hole.
Oh, Jesus.
Whew, that's a lot.
Are you there yet?
Mike, are you looking at the MC Hammer lyrics?
No, we're saving that.
Okay. I'm so scared what he's going to find. I'm already not happy about whatever it is.
Oh no.
Mike, are you currently going to Google and typing it in Monsters? Because I don't think you'll find what you want.
I thought it was Adam's.
I'm looking up the Addams
talk
Family.
about
I don't
monsters
want to
later.
see Herman get down.
Nobody
No.
wants to see Herman fuck.
We've all seen Young Frankenstein.
You know, it's having an enormous Schwanstricker.
But she sounded like she was having a good time though, so I don't know.
It's true.
Like, did anybody actually think though if that was true? If all the parts were super sized, that would follow?
I mean, why wouldn't you if you were making a man?
I don't know. I wouldn't be making a man, but I mean, going back to the Tinder thing though, that might be an option.
I've always been confused by that, because I mean, Frankenstein is supposed to be grave robbing to get the parts for his monster, but they also say he makes the monster bigger, so it's easier to work with and all that, which doesn't add up in my mind, because that makes it seem like you'd have a tiny head or something. Like, you can't just take one part and staple it onto an enlarged rest of the body. Like, you'd have tiny hands or something, or real big forearms. Like, it doesn't make sense.
That's not how coming back from the dead works at all.
Not at all. Mary Shelley should be ashamed for that trash. Just making garbage up. Ugh.
I have to say,
Yes, Mike?
the Addams Family porno's house is very cheap looking.
No, they didn't. They did not film that in a crumbling Victorian manor.
Oh, God.
aren't those all over LA? though?
Nothing
They're
is
all
more
over.
horrifying than Lurch just reaching into his pants and...
Are you watching it right now?
Yes. Now,
Oh,
where
why
did
don't you
Lurch's
give your
pants go?
reaction?
And I think Lurch is just retarded in this version. I'm not sure how I
Question,
feel
whenever-
about that, because it sees like now Granny is taking advantage of him, and yes, that's what's happening.
Where are you watching this off of?
Mike,
It's
you have
not
30
important.
new viruses on your computer.
Probably. What the name of God?
My very important question: when Lurch pulled his dick out, did it make a gong sound?
And he has to say you rang, or otherwise it won't make sense.
Okay.
You bang.
Oh,
I think Lurch may have a condition down there.
It's called gigantism, Mike.
It's not always so bad.
Why are there plant ladies? I don't understand the plot of this film at all. Gomez is a monster.
I think I know which site you're talking about. I found it. Yep. Yeah, Granny looks horrifying.
Well, Pugsley
like
and
how
Wednesday
this-
are getting down.
I like how this is the episode of Box Office Pulp that ends with just watching porn. After all these years, we finally reached
Yeah,
that
we knew it
point.
was coming to this point eventually.
Folks, if you've
Wait a
enjoyed
minute.
this podcast-
Pugsley and Wednesday have a fucking Frankenstein poster in their bedroom. That's bullshit. I don't believe that would be true.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I just found it. I found it, you guys. I was right. Hand does do it. Yep. I was right.
Oh, there's finger banging?
Yeah. Thing got his thing. Yep.
It was
That's what
too good of an opportunity to pass up. They had to make him do something.
A little bit. You know what? I never thought the day would come, literally, that I would see Pugsley enter the anal cavity of Wednesday Addams, and
Yep.
I would be recording a podcast at the same time. I'd be witnessing it.
Too many fetishes.
Life
for
is
me.
magical. You know that? We live in a magical planet.
Folks,
What-
We did.
if you've enjoyed this podcast for whatever reason, you can find more of Box Office Pulp on Stitcher. We're on iTunes. You can even find us on Facebook or Twitter. I don't think we have any porn on any of our channels, but you can now hear Mike describe it for you. So if that's your kink, there you go.
You'll never
Let us
hear this
know.
again on an episode. We're usually a little bit smarter than me watching porn, but you know, if that's the kind of content you're coming for,
I
haha.
think it's my
Your
fault.
mother cum joke.
It's my fault, you guys. It's my fault. I'm sorry. But
Just
I'm
took
gonna
a
say
hard left turn. I was surprised.
this might be the reason. No, this might be proof that women do watch porn. So if anybody has those like little doubts about it, I'm here to tell you that shit's not true because look what happened.
Now it's just signs.
The mean lady made me.
But seriously, I really, really, really would like to know what people think. So I'd like send me everything you got: video, commentary, thumbs up, thumbs down, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever tickles your fancy.
If you can,
Literally.
though, wear a mask while you describe what you thought of it. Just make it creepy, please.
Oh, that's the line. That makes it creepy right there.
Oh.
I get it now. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for listening tonight. Get the hell out of here.
Stay spooky.
And like that, he's gone.
They do what they want to do, say what they want to say, live how they want to live, play how they want to play, dance how they want to dance, kick and slap a friend. The Addams Family.
I remember the day I needed to borrow a little of pepper for my chicken. The next thing you know, coming at me was a hand with the fingers high, stepping. I ain't with that.
When a knock, and a voice, yo. I can't do this.
This is Box Office Pulp Guy, and this has been a Pulp Podcast production. Now please, 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 put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger and say goodnight.
And now, on with the show.
They do what they want to do, say what they want to say, live what they want to live, play how they want to play, dance how they want to dance, kick and slap a friend. The Addams Family. Speaking and thinking about the Addams. You know the hammer is with it. I'm with it. Act a fool, no bones. Swoop, Goofy, and Randy. You know we kick it. The posse. Now is the time to get in your mind. It's okay to be yourself. Be yourself. Take foolish pride and put it aside. Like the Addams. Yo.
That was so ominous. It's like you're doing the
that was
fucking,
great.
like, speech like Damien gives to the flogged Jesus in Omen 3.
Like I just imagine, and then Midsummer happens and it's